Once upon a time, there lived a doctor named Gulliver. When work became scarce in the city, he decided to take a job on a ship, beginning a new chapter of his life at sea. The first few days were smooth, and he gradually adjusted to his new routine. However, one day, a powerful storm struck. After battling the massive waves for hours, the ship eventually capsized. Gulliver and a few crew members managed to get into rowing boats just before the ship sank into the ocean. Not long after, another huge wave overturned their small boat, scattering them into the sea. For hours, Gulliver struggled to stay afloat, fighting exhaustion and the relentless waves. Eventually, the ocean's current carried him to shore. Weak and drained, he collapsed on the beach, unaware of where he was. Unable to think or move, he lost consciousness right there on the sand. When he woke up, he found himself tied up from head to toe. To his astonishment, he was surrounded by tiny people no bigger than the palm of his hand. He gazed at them in amazement, and they stared back at him with equal curiosity. Suddenly, Gulliver felt a tingling sensation all over his body. Looking down, he saw that he was covered in tiny arrows. The frightened little people were attacking him. "Please stop, I won't harm you," he pleaded. After a few days, seeing that Gulliver meant no harm, the tiny people untied him and provided food and water. They then transported him to their town, Lilliput, on a massive cart pulled by hundreds of miniature horses. Despite offering him the largest building in town, Gulliver still had to crawl to fit inside. Once convinced of his good intentions, the Lilliputians introduced Gulliver to their king. The king agreed to let him stay under the condition that he contributed to the kingdom. Gulliver signed an agreement outlining the rules he had to follow, such as seeking permission before picking up any citizens. In his new life, Gulliver assisted with construction and transported water for the people. Over time, he discovered a major crisis. Lilliput's neighboring kingdom was preparing for war, planning to invade. Wanting to help, Gulliver approached the king. "Your Highness, if you allow me, I can protect Lilliput." Grateful, the king accepted his offer. As the enemy fleet readied for attack, Gulliver devised a clever plan. He gathered as much wire as possible, twisted it into a strong rope, and waited until midnight. Under the cover of darkness, he waded across the shore and stealthily entered the enemy's port. There, he tied all their ships together and pulled them back to Lilliput, capturing the soldiers on board. The people rejoiced Lilliput was safe. The king, pleased with Gulliver's bravery, rewarded him. However, jealousy soon arose among the king's advisors. "Your Highness, we hear troubling rumors," they whispered. "Gulliver may be plotting to overthrow you. He's too powerful. If he turns against us, we won't stand a chance." The king, influenced by their words, decided to punish Gulliver. "He shall not be executed, but his eyes will be blinded, and he will be banished from the city with limited food," he decreed. A kind-hearted worker, loyal to Gulliver, rushed to warn him. Realizing the king wouldn't change his mind, Gulliver knew he had to escape. That night, he took the enemy's ships and set sail toward the neighboring kingdom. When he arrived, he returned the captured ships, proving his peaceful intentions. The neighboring king welcomed him, and to Gulliver's surprise, treated him with kindness, despite past conflicts with Lilliput. While exploring, Gulliver stumbled upon a familiar sight, a rowing boat. It was the very boat from his sunken ship. It must have washed ashore here, he realized. Excited, he informed the king, who provided workers to help repair it. In just a few days, the boat was seaworthy once again. Though he was grateful for the hospitality, Gulliver longed to return home. Setting sail on the small boat, he braved the vast ocean once more. The journey was treacherous. Any storm could have easily sunk his fragile vessel, but after several days at sea, he spotted a distant ship. Desperately, he called out for help. "Help! Over here!" The crew heard his cries and rescued him, bringing him aboard. Finally safe, Gulliver couldn't wait to share his incredible adventures, the tiny people of Lilliput, the war, and the two kingdoms. Yet, he wondered, who would believe such an extraordinary tale? Despite everything, one thing was certain. This was just the beginning of many more adventures waiting for him in the vast ocean.